This is for someone who's looking to build their first home from an architecture perspective.
Where's the door hole? Goes right there. See, I drew it with a magic marker.
Talking about how to design a house, part one of a 3-part series, breaking down the nitty gritty, putting timestamps in the bio so you can skip ahead. It's showing live examples as we proceed forward. We're gonna switch over to the computer screen. All right, guys, so here, the first thing we're gonna look at is land. So what I've done is I've gone on Zillow local and I found a local property nearby. This is located in Davie, Florida. It's this piece of land right here, 1.1 acres. The first thing we're gonna look at is on a piece of land is what is on the site. So as you guys can see, there's a lot of trees. So because there's a lot of trees, these need to be removed. This is a cost that needs to be calculated on. What if there's a building? What if there's a shed? What if there's nothing there? These are things that need to be analyzed before you purchase the property. So after we figure out the property, we see over here, now that we have the piece of land, we need to also figure out what is the land use. So this is where I'll get tied into the zoning code, which is the next step. But what is this piece of land used for? So for example, this piece of land right here is for residential. This is for residential. Land has its own use. So in this case, this is zoned to residential. We'll make sure, but we're gonna, how do we know if it's residential or not? We're gonna check the zoning code after this, but this is a good piece of land to start with. Let's see, I believe it's in residential. Normally when things are next, as you can see here, normally when things are near, normally residential's grouped together. So you see a home here, you see a home here. This is 99% most likely residential. This lot here, this lot here, this lot here. So we're gonna get involved in that. So here's another look of it. You see all these homes right here, so it's most likely this is residential. We'll see what we can fit there. So that's the first thing is, and then after we look at the land, you also want to see the size. How big of a lot do you need for the home you're trying to build? You get a bigger lot, bigger home. The summarized land accusation, the first thing is price. Obviously, how much we're paying per acre. Right here, 650,000, 1.1 acres. That's going to be a cost incurred. Second thing is what's on the site. As we can see in this example, there is trees that need to be removed. This is a cost that gets incurred in the total fee. Is there a building there that needs to be removed? Is there a shed? Anything that on site, pre-existing conditions are what we need to look at. And then last but not least is the zoning, which we're going to get into right now. What is this piece of land zone? What are we allowed to build here? Are we allowed to build a home here? We're now going to check the zoning. This is a zoning map for the town of Davie. This is going to be kind of a two-part little part two. So the first thing is we got to find the property. I believe it's somewhere over in this area. I'm just going to go ahead and we'll use this for an example. So what you do is you find the address, you find the parcel of land, and for this video purpose, we're going to just say it's an R1. So that's the zone that we're going to go with. Find the property you're looking for, you find the zone that it's in, and then normally at the end, you'll see a legend. So we're going to actually scroll down here. Zoning abbreviations. So as you can see, there's certain types of zoning use: agricultural, commercial, single family, design overlay, industrial, mobile homes. You guys can see the list. Check your local zoning. What this is telling you is this piece of land is allowed these type of buildings. A1 is allowed agricultural. This is for growing. Mobile homes, single family, so we're gonna find our thing. We're down here, R1. We are down here at R1, the very bottom. Let me zoom in for you guys. So we are here, R1. We are allowed single family residence in an estate dwelling district. So the land use is single family home. Dwelling district will have guidelines that dictate the design, basically provide us the parameters within we can work within, how far off the property line we can go, how tall, basically the lot area coverage. It's gonna give you everything in which you can design. So now that we got this, we're going to jump over to the zoning code, the actual municipal code for this county. Alrighty, so this is the second part of part two. This is the municipal code for Davie, Florida. This is where we'll find the parameters in which we can work. So normally there's a little search bar at the top. We'll start with that, do R-1, and we get nothing. So now we got to look through here. These are the little, see, land development code. So we're going to go land development code. We're going to scroll down to the subsections, title, purpose, development standards. So we're developing a property or building, so development standards. And then right off the bat, they jump right into it. Here you go, residential, agricultural districts. You can see everything that they tell you about the property, how to develop on it. So you're going to see, as you see, R1 here. We're over here. So this whole row is what dictates us. And as the columns come down, you can see minimum lot area, square footage, minimum lot frontage, max building cover ratio. It basically gives you a box within you can design your building. Get very in depth in describing what is allowed and what's not allowed for this stuff Ultimately, when you go to submit the drawings for approval by the city will review this. To wrap up zoning code, the zoning code and zoning map dictate what you can do on the land. What are you allowed to build? What are you not allowed to build? The permitted uses. The zoning code then dictates the box within you can work within. How tall, how far back, how much area of the site has to be covered by building, how much site is covered by green. It basically gives you the parameters within you can work within. And that wraps up zoning. Basically what you're allowed to do and the box within you're allowed to work within. So now we're going to jump into the survey, ties back into all this before. So before we can start designing, we figured out that this property can have an R1. We could build a house on this property. For 1.1 acres, we can build a nice size house after we remove the shrubs. But how do we start designing? What do we start working with? We can't just start designing a house off of this picture. We need something to work with. It is also a prerequisite for the building department. So what we end up using is called a survey. A survey looks like this, basically showing you what's on the site. Utility lines, this shows you what you are buying, and this becomes the canvas for the architect to start designing the home, or developer or builder, whoever's designing the home. So this is your canvas. This is where you can start developing. As you guys can see in this sketch right here, it looks like somebody's already done some research and proposed some sketches along. Check the zoning to see if this could work. You hire a surveyor to get this done, costs a couple $100, bigger the property, more money, pretty obvious. After we have this and we see the zoning we're allowed, we can start designing the home. So to recap, the survey is the canvas of the site. It shows you what you are purchasing, what's on the site, shows all pre-existing conditions, what's underground, everything that's there. This is a requirement, third part, a requirement for the developer, designer, architect, whoever is designing the property, and also for the building department to get your building permit. So we looked at land acquisition, we looked at the zoning code / zoning map, and we also looked at the survey. So all three of these are necessary for designing your home. Again, this is part 1 of a part 3 series. I hope you guys stay tuned for the next 2 parts that are coming, because we're gonna get even more detail. I put timestamps in the bio below. You guys can jump back and forth. If you guys have any questions about the process so far, I know it can get kind of confusing. Drop a comment below and I will be more than happy to answer it for you guys. This video is a bit lengthy, so if you stuck around, congratulations, and I can't wait to see you for the next part. So part 2 is coming soon. Let's do it.